Hey everybody, Jesse Castor with Better CNC here with another Shop Talk Friday. This Friday we're going over AMFG.ai. So for anybody wondering, AMFG.ai is a quoting and sales tool aimed at CNC machine shops and 3D printing, and I believe they do other forms of fabrication like sheet metal and whatnot as well. That I'm not as familiar with, so I'm just going to stick with the parts that I work with, machining and 3D printing. A little bit about my experience with it so far. It's the latest software I've switched to. I used to do my quoting with paperless parts. I switched to AMFG in October for some particular key features I'll go over later. But so far, since I've switched, I've done all of my quoting activity goes through AMFG, whether it's by email, through my website, walk-ins, everything goes through there. Since October, I've done about 120 quotes, and I've had 44 orders go all the way through the system where I've created the quote, taken the order, shipped it, everything through their system. And it's become a key feature for my marketing. I've actually redone the homepage on my website and some things like that, really pointing at what the software offers me. And I'll cover it here in a second. It gets some really cool stuff. So here's kind of the four key features that this thing that AMFG offers to you. First big one, and this is the main reason I switched, is automated quoting. So when I say automated quoting, I mean my customers can actually go to my website, upload a 3D model, get a price, and place an order, all without me having to look at it, touch it, review it, anything. And I cannot tell you, there's not much better feeling than waking up and seeing an email on your phone that you just got some more work in the door without ever having to look at it. So that's the first big feature. I think that's the number one focus for me is the instant quoting. Another big part of that kind of goes hand in hand with the automated quoting is customized quoting logic. So their software is able to review the 3D model, recognize features, and look at the material quantity, everything like that. Really any parameters. It's actually very customizable. Any parameter you want to come up with the price. So whenever you're on board with them, they'll work with you, try and talk to you a little bit about how you think about quoting, and then start to build the system out to match the way you think about it. But it also opens up some doors if there's some stuff you've always wanted to try. But yeah, you can convert the brain of the software to think like you do when it quotes parts. Another big feature for me that I take a lot of advantage of is there's now a customer portal. So you can use it or not, if up to you. But I use it, which means I can actually update the status of orders in real time to where my customers can go to my website, log in, and see the status. See the estimated ship date, see the status of each part based on statuses that I decided to have in the system. But it's super handy, and it offloads part of my customer service portion, which as a small machine shop, that is super helpful. And another big feature that I take a lot of advantage of is automated emails. So a lot of times, let's say whenever you receive an order, confirmation, ready to ship, we started working on it, all those kinds of things are now automated. I don't have to go sit down and type out emails. I literally just click a status, update it. It updates it in the portal, and I've set my own triggers to where it actually sends an email to the customer saying, hey, we received your order, we're confirming it, we've started working on it, it's ready to ship, it's shipping. All of that is now automated, so my customers get updates, get proactive communications from us, which, let's say, when you're having to chase everything else around the shop, it's just nice to be able to offload that part. No, it's taken care of. You don't need to worry about it. You don't need to think about it. So those are the key features in it. Let's say a couple big benefits, I think, for small shops like me. I want to go over some of the pros and cons that I've come across as I've been using it. So first big pro is it's just a passive sales tool. I've gotten, let's say, I think $20,000 in orders so far since I've been using it from customers I wouldn't have had otherwise if I didn't have instant quoting on my website. I'd say like a good amount of the work I've gotten through there has been like individuals needing parts, but I think 3 or 4 customers are now customers I can work with to create long-term relationships with. But it's for engineers in a panic, for customers with a hobby project, and you can also set minimums and triggers like that. So it says, if you want a $200 minimum, you can enforce that stuff like that. So you don't get too small of walk-ins if you don't want them. But still, it's a great sales tool. I've had people from around the country using it, sending in orders, sending questions, sending inquiries, everything like that. And what catches their eye initially is having that quoting portal on my website. Another big pro, I talked about this already a little bit, is just automating your customer service, offloading that, those updates saying we started working on it, we've received your order, confirming it, things like that. I don't have to think about as much anymore. The system takes care of it, so I can spend time programming, machining, checking, running all my errands that I have to pick up and drop off materials. A couple cons or just hesitations about software like this is, let's say, when anyone thinks of auto quoting, it's you think, how accurate is it? Is it going to be good enough for me? It takes a lot of trust to use a system like this, and it takes some time to work on it. The guys at AMFG will definitely hold your hand through it and get everything tuned in and as accurate as possible. And they're also still developing the system and working on it and pushing out new updates that'll just make everything more and more accurate. So it definitely takes a leap of faith using something like this. This type of software is never going to be 100% accurate or 100% perfect, but you can get it pretty close and get it to cover most cases. And for those ones that it doesn't, you can actually set some manual triggers for where customers don't get a price. It can force a manual review if it's outside of that normal scope. But it does take a leap of faith. But so far for me, it's been super beneficial. The last kind of con I'm going to note about it is it's a bit technical to get set up. They'll walk you through, they'll hold your hand through every part of the process. If you're not that technical of a person, they can do everything for you. It just may take a little bit longer. But if you are tech savvy, then it's going to definitely be a little more helpful for you. I'd say I'm a bit of a nerd. I tinker with a lot of that kind of stuff in my free time anyway, so I was able to get it set up and running pretty quickly. But for anyone who's not quite tech savvy or doesn't tinker with that kind of stuff in their free time anyways, then it might take you a little bit longer to get set up. But once you're set up, it's fairly smooth sailing from there. So, final thoughts on this overall. To me, I'm about to say it's just, I still can't get over having instant quoting. I think that's just the coolest thing. It's something that makes you competitive with Exometry, Protolabs, all those big shops out there, even though you're a small individual US shop. But I think this is a big step in how we keep US manufacturing competitive, is by getting these features that are typically only available to big companies that can afford it. So I think it's a great tool. I've really enjoyed using mine so far, and I plan on continuing to use it in for the foreseeable future. So one last thing I want to throw in is this video is the closest thing I'll ever get to being a sponsorship, is they do referrals. And I also wanted to use this to go over the pricing a little bit. So the base plan is $495 a month with about $1,000 for onboarding. I believe that base plan keeps them in line with some of the other softwares out there, and that onboarding fee is lower, I think, than some of the other softwares out there. But that makes it a little more feasible for smaller shops to get into. It's still a little pricey for quoting software for somebody really early on, but once you get to a point where you have enough quoting activity, or if you pair it with AMFG.com, like in my last video, it can definitely pay for itself pretty quickly. But I am going to note, for anyone who wants to look into it or wants to sign up for it, I do have a referral link down in the description. And if you go through that referral link and get a demo and end up signing up, they'll take $500 off your onboarding, or $500 off somehow. I'm not sure exactly how they credit it to you. But yeah, you'll get $500 off overall. So basically a free month or half price onboarding. So if you want to look into it, you want to take advantage of it, make sure you use that link below, get a little bit of a discount, and help jumpstart a smaller shop. Help jumpstart your shop with the world of instant quoting. But besides all that, that's all I have to go over AMFG. If you have any questions about it, Any questions, comments, critiques, feedback, anything like that, I am always open. I've been getting some emails from folks, which I love getting. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. You can send me an email at youtube@bettercnc.com. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.